वृंदाविक गिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यावल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यावल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यावल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यावल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यावल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपाद शतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यावल्लभ विष्णु महाभगवत शिल गोक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्यावल्लभ विश्व शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यावल्लभ विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौड़िय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल व्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। श्री भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर भजन रहस्य की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। Just checking, is today any special day today? No. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Gaur. Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। श्रीसिद्धान्त सरस्वतीति विदितो कोडीय गुर्वन्वये भातो भानुरिव प्रभात गगने योगोरसंकीर्तनाय मायावारतिमिङ्गिलोदरगतान् उद्धृत्य जीवानिमान् कृष्णप्रेमसुधाब्धिगाहनसुखां प्रादात् प्रभुं तं भजे। वन्दे भक्तिविनोदं श्री गौरशक्तिस्वरूपकम् भक्तिशास्त्रज्ञ सम्राजं राधारससुधानिधिं नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। वृषभानुसुतान् वितवामतनुं Yamuna tata nagara nanda sutam Murali kalagita vinora param Bhaja godruma kanana kunja vidum Smara gaura gadadara kelikalam Bhava gaura gadadhara pakshachara Shrinu gaura gadadhara charukhatam Bhaja godruma kanana kunja vidum Tavaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina Iti vigyaya devi tvang nayamang charanantikam Bhaktya vihina aparadha lakshaya क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्ग मध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Swaruparaya Sangha Harsha Shesha Ghoshanam Shikshanashtakakya Krishna Kirtanaika Poshanam Prema Nama Matra Vishwa Jivanaika Sambharam Prema Dhama Devameva Naumi Gaura Sundaram Premor Bhavita Harsheryo Dvega Danyarti Mishritam Lapitam Chandrasya Bhagyavarbhirnishevyate Prabhur Shikshashtak Shloka Jay Pore Shune Krishne Prem Bhakti Tar Bare Dine Dine. Whoever reads or hears the Lord Shikshashtak verses will find their Prem Bhakti to Krishna growing more and more each day. Shikshāṣṭaka chinta karo smarana kirtan krame ashtakala seva habe uddipan shakala anartha jabe pabe prem dhan chatur varga phalgu pray habe adarshan. Contemplate the Shikshāṣṭaka and engage in smaran and kirtan. Gradually, service throughout the 8 divisions of the day will be awakened. All anarthas will disappear, and you will attain the treasure of prem. The 4 aims of worldly life, the chaturvarga, will appear trivial, and they will fade from view. Everything, all attainments that everybody tries to attain in this world, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, will become so insignificant, and it will just vanish. Won't even know about it. Nothing else will exist except for this ashtakala seva, this service to Radha and Krishna throughout the 8 divisions of the day. This all happens gradually, gradually, by following this process of the Shikshāṣṭaka. Okay. These are Mahaprabhu's, his own instructions for how to attain perfection. That's why it's the Shikshāṣṭaka. It's a shiksha, his instructions. It's an actual manual from Mahaprabhu himself. Okay, so let's recite the Shikshāṣṭaka. I think lots of times, I don't know, myself at least, when I say the word Shikshāṣṭaka, I forget the meaning of Shikshāṣṭaka. It's Mahaprabhu's direct instructions, the methodology of how to move from Shraddha to Sadhusanga to Bhajana Kriya to Anartha Nivritti. Okay, so let's recite the Shikshāṣṭaka now. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagni nirvapanam Shreya kairava chandrika vitaranam Vidyavadho jivanam Anandam buddhivardhanam pratiparam Purnamrita swadanam Sarvatma snapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudha Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaivam Idrishamiha Janinanuraga Trinarapi Sunichena Taror-api Sahishnuna Amanina Amanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Na dhanam na janam na sundaring Kavitam va jagarisha kamaye Mama janmani janmanishvare Bhavatar bhaktir ahaituki tvayi Ainandatanu jakinkaram Patitam mam vishame pavam budo Kripaya tava para pankaja Sthita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya Nayanam galarashudharaya Vadanam gad kadarudaya gira Ulakair nichitam vapu kada Tavanama grahane bhavishyati Yugaitam nimeshena Chakshusha pravrishayitam Shunyaitam jagat sarvam Govinda virahena me Ashlishabhapararatam pinashtumam Adarshanan marma hatam kurotuva Yatha tatha va vidadhatulam pato mat prananatastu sa eva na para. Jai Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka ki jai. All right, let's see who has joined. Dandavat pranams, Sarveshwari Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Yashoda Mataji, and somebody else is watching on their iPhone. Just says iPhone there. Pranams. And let's see on YouTube and Facebook. I only see 2 comments. There are 5 people watching, but I only see 2 comments. So I see Ganga Mataji and Shasharamaji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams. And I see a few more people have joined. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. Otherwise, I don't know who you are. But Dandavat Pranams, I'm guessing Rohini Nandan Prabhu and Indira Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji, and other devotees like that who regularly join. And also all devotees watching in the future, Shachi Devi, Jayare Prabhu, Revati Didi, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Okay, so today is, I'm starting very late because I was having problems getting this mic working. Every now and then it freezes and it doesn't work. And so anyways, that took a little while. But today's program is going to be very simple. We're just going to go through one verse of Bhajana-rahasya. I wanted to spend time on this verse because I really need it for myself. And I think many of us could. It's on the topic of, what does it say? It says, japa-sampatti-hetavaḥ. So it's the causes for attaining sampatti. Actually, I want to look up that word sampatti, but I think sampatti, because lots of times I think of sampatti as wealth, right? But I think it means also perfection. Actually, let's just look up that word right now. But yeah, it goes through 6 different things. 6 different things that we can do to attain perfection in our chanting. And then my Gurudev, Nitya Professor Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, he gives 5 further things to gain perfection in chanting mantra. Okay, so the word sampatti means prosperity, welfare, good fortune, success, accomplishment, success. I think these are the words here. Success and accomplishment, fulfillment, turning out well. So if we don't follow these things that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has explained to us, outlined for us, then we will not gain success, accomplishment, fulfillment. We won't get any of these benefits from chanting. These are like the prerequisites for chanting japa. Wait, I have to put it up in English. 1 second. Here. Oh, no, that's not it. Okay, let me just open up Bhajana-rahasya. Sorry, I didn't, because yeah, I didn't open up all the files. Here it is, Bhajana-rahasya. And let's just to get the flow of what's happening in Bhajana-rahasya, let's see. Okay, so yesterday we went through this, how first Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives this verse about the power of namabhas and how we must chant this namabhas with shraddha. And then he gives the verse of Śikṣāṣṭaka, Cheto Darpanamarjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. And he goes through Śikṣāṣṭakam. He goes through this first verse, explaining in detail, giving verses from scripture that highlight each one of these 7 excellent results that Krishnanam Sankirtan gives, Cheto Darpanamarjanam, Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. And he starts that off with a verse from Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtak, and then he ends it. After that whole explanation, he ends it again with 2 more verses from Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtak. And it's really such a beautiful ashtak. It'd be really nice to go through that very carefully one day. Srila Rupa Goswami's Krishna Namashtak. Yeah, so many essential teachings, and it's very helpful for our chanting as well. So anyhow, then after that, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he goes through Vedic evidence. It's from the Rig Veda, 3 different sections in the Rig Veda, which describes nam tattva. And I forget, it explains how, I think the first verse was how nam is the ultimate deliverer. It's Taraka Brahma. It delivers all the souls from the material world. And then the next verse from Rig Veda was talking about I can't remember exactly, but I think it was how all transcendental knowledge, and it's fully conscious, the name, and it is the embodiment of transcendental knowledge. And I don't know, something like that. And then it explained how Bhagavan manifests in 3 forms, Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. And how within the syllables, or I think Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained in his Bengali verse, how in the syllables of Om is Hari, Krishna, and Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. And so that's what I was understanding. It didn't say explicitly, but I was understanding that the Maha Mantra is also, because Hari, U, Krishna, Ma, Rama. Om, Hare Krishna, Rama. I don't know. But anyhow, and how this Rig Veda mantra explains how there's no difference between Nam and Nami. From the unmanifest, this Nam comes. I think it said something like that. And anyways, I wasn't actually so clear on the Rig Veda mantras. It's a little bit too esoteric for me, but yeah. Then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gives the Mahaprabhu's instructions from Chaitanya Bhagavat about Mahaprabhu, he instructs all the Navadvipvasis. He says, regularly chant this Maha Mantra. Go and chant this mantra, and the word there is nirbandha, and with a fixed mind, with a concentrated mind, chant in a regulated manner. And from this chanting, you'll obtain sarva siddhi, all perfection. So he says, sarva kan bolo, chant it all the time. Vidhi nahi aad. There are no rules and regulations for chanting this name. And then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives a verse from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is similar to Mahaprabhu's instruction here. It has a few of these key words, how says that it doesn't actually mention the holy name in the verse, but Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he used this verse for the holy name. He said, well, let me just share my screen and then we could just look at this verse. I still am not totally clear, 100% clear on it. I was trying to figure it out yesterday, but Achirad eva sarvata siddhatesham abhipsita. So very quickly, Achirad means very quickly, and eva means certainly, very quickly. Sarvartha, all perfection. And really and siddhi means, artha means there's the purushartha, right? There's the goals of human life, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and then we know prem is prem pancham purushartha. It's the fifth goal of life, which is not generally described. Usually I only say that there are 4 goals of life, but no, prem is the 5th goal of life. Pancham purushartha. So sarvartha, all goals that abhipsita, that are desired by somebody, siddhati, one gains perfection in that achirat very quickly. And what's the topmost of all goals? Yeah, that prem purushartha. So very quickly, person attains prem. Saddharmasya vapodaya yesham nirbandhani mati. And then nirbandhini mati. We looked up this word yesterday, nirbandhini, but I have such a bad memory. I forgot exactly all the oops, I have it in Hindi. Need it in Bengali. Where's Bengali? There. There it is. Okay, so the word in Bengali, the word nirbandha means zeal, intentness, attachment, perseverance after an object, incessant solicitation. So with an intentness, strong attachment. God, there's so many different words, but anyway, so with a mind that is very, it's attached, and it is intent, strong attachment, yeah, and incessant solicitation. Sorry, did I say solicitation? Solicitation and eagerness. All these things in a very fixed way with eagerness. Your mind should be like that. And then Krishna Nam Kore. Ati shigra, then very quickly, prem phal she nam dhore. Then by your chanting of the name, very quickly you'll attain the prem phal, the fruit of prem. Okay, so now how do we fix our minds like that? How do we do this nirbandhini mati? So then Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, first he explains the external things. Okay, you should chant on a mala. And this mala should be made of tulsi. It also could be made of jewels. This is from Hari Bhakti Vilas. And us in our line, we don't chant on jewels. But in this verse quoted from, I don't know where Hari Bhakti Vilas is quoting from, but it says it should be either chanting on tulsi or jewels. And it says all these different things, just, all the things that we already know. that we shouldn't touch our mala with our left hand. We shouldn't shake our bead bag around. We shouldn't drop the beads. We shouldn't cross the Krishna bead. We should go, and the bead should be like the tail of a cow, I think it said, or a snake. So it goes, it's like from big to small. And yeah, if somebody chants with if you chant with the middle finger, then you'll gain bhukti and mukti. I don't know. It gives all these instructions, practical instructions, which I think already like we already all follow. And then remember, this is nirbandhini mati. Mahaprabhu was giving instructions for how to chant the Mahamantra, and now Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling us how to chant. Very practical instructions. And now, how do we chant with a mind that's completely fixed, with enthusiasm, attached, and regulated? Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, well, he gives us verse from Hari Bhakti Vilas, 17, the 17th Vilas, verse 129. And we're just going to focus on this today and nothing else. So, it says, mana saṁharaṇaṁ śaucaṁ. Actually, let me make this, because this is I'm just gonna make this very clear and make it big so you can see it nicely. Okay. No, that's too big. Okay. So mana saṁharaṇaṁ śaucaṁ. We can recite it together. Mana saṁharaṇaṁ śaucaṁ maunaṁ mantrārtha-cintanam avyagratvam anirvedo japa-sampatti-hetavaḥ. So this goes through 6 things. Number one is mana saṁharaṇaṁ. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this in the Bengali song like the Bengali verses that he wrote. He says that mana saṁharaṇaṁ means man ke ekagra bhave loho. So making your mind fixed in one thought, just directing your mind and withdrawing it from all external material objects and fixing it and making it one-pointed. So that's mana saṁharaṇaṁ. And then śaucaṁ, that's number 2. Śaucaṁ means purity. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, chitte shuddha thako. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this śaucaṁ as, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur doesn't even refer to external cleanliness. He's just saying, make your mind pure. Your mind should remain pure. Shuddha, he says it as an instruction. Chitte shuddha thako. And then number 3 is maunam. Maunam means silence, being mute. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains this. He says that this means vritta katha nahi koho. He says, don't speak about mundane topics, about useless vritta. Vritta means useless, katha, topics. Vritta katha nahi koho. And then the 4th one is mantrārtha-cintanam. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, namartha cintaho. Who's calling me? And then avyagratvam. Avyagratvam, oh wait, so that's number 5. Avyagratvam is number 5. Avyagratvam means, I think that's like, sorry, 1 second, let me just, আমার ক্লাস চলছে এখন, আমি এখন পরে ফোন করবেন, এখন ক্লাস চলছে, অনেক লোক আছে, ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, এই সময় ফোন করবে না, পরে ফোন, ঠিক আছে, আমি পাঠিয়ে দেবো পরে, ঠিক আছে? Dang it, God, that guy's so annoying. Sorry. Avyagratvam. So avyagratvam means, I think avyagratvam means steadily and like, but I don't know. We'll get more clear on this word once we come to my Gurudev's explanation of this. And then anirvedo means, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he says, dharja ashray koro. Dharja ashray koro. So dharja means patience. Ashray. Ashray koro. Take shelter of patience when you chant. Don't be despondent. Don't be hopeless. This, even though it seems like there isn't any effect, just keep on doing it. Be patient. So japa-sampatti, so these are 6 things. Japa-sampatti-hetavaḥ. And by following these 6 things, then this causes, hetava means causes, japa-sampatti, perfection in, what were those synonyms that we're looking at? Accomplishment, fulfillment, success in our chanting of japa. And it's also not just japa, also in chanting our mantras, like our Gayatri mantras, like that. So if anybody wants to, I would like to try to memorize these, so that I think this would be a really helpful thing to do before I start chanting on my mala, or before I start chanting on my onik. Just recite this verse. Remember, before I start, okay, I need to follow these 6 things, and then I'll have success in what I'm going to do right now. saṁharaṇaṁ, śaucaṁ, maunam, mantrārtha-cintanam, avyagratvam, anirvedo, japa-sampatti-hetavaḥ. It's not such a difficult verse to memorize either. saṁharaṇaṁ, śaucaṁ, maunam, mantrārtha-cintanam, avyagratvam, anirvedo, japa-sampatti-hetavaḥ. Now, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his translation of this, japa kale, so at the time of chanting japa, manake ekagra bhave loho, manke, making your mind, ekagra bhave loho, steadily fixing your mind, chitte shuddha dhako, remaining your heart or minds should remain pure, vritta kata nahi koho, don't speak about useless topics, vritta kata. Namartha-cintaho, meditate on the meaning, on the artha of the nam. Sada, always, and always I think is that avyagratvam. Dharja shray koro, always take shelter. Oh no, sorry, take shelter, ashray koro, of dharja, of patience. Namete adar kori, Krishna nama smaro. So remember the name of Krishna, Krishna nam, adar koriya, like with honor and respect and love, care, adar. Okay, so let's look at how Srila Gurudev explains this in his Hindi Bhajana-rahasya. Okay, so at the time of japa, one should withdraw the minds, saṁharaṇaṁ. One should maintain purity, śaucaṁ. One should remain silent, maunam. One should meditate on the meaning of the mantra, mantrārtha-cintanam. One should be undistracted, avyagratvam. And one should remain free from discouragement. It's anirvedo, free from discouragement. These are the causes of perfection in chanting japa. Okay, so let's, that's a really bad font. Just changing this font to AA Rupa. So much better. Okay. So, jap ke samay ekagra man Krishna itar बातों को परित्याग करो, शुद्ध चित्त से नामों के अर्थ चिंतन करते हुए धैर्य पूर्वक नाम का स्मरण चिंतन एवं कीर्तन करना चाहिए. While chanting japa, this is Gurudev's translation of this verse. He says, while chanting japa, one should have one-pointed concentration. One should give up all topics unrelated to Krishna And with a pure heart, meditate on the meanings of the names while patiently engaging in remembrance, contemplation, and singing of the holy name. So, okay. So this verse from Bhajana-rahasya 1.33 describes the means for attaining perfection in mantra japa. So siddhi ki siddhi ke upay. Okay, so first is mana samyog, focusing the mind. Focusing the mind means absorbing it in the desired name and chanting while contemplating the pastimes of the Lord. Okay, this is mana samyog, focusing the mind. It means absorbing it in the desired name and chanting while contemplating the pastimes of the Lord. Since the mind of the bound soul tends to wander toward various objects, one must stay in sadhu sangha and discipline the mind through detachment and practice. Detachment, vairagya, and abhyas, dvara. One second. Let me just make this like that. So how do we do mana saṁharaṇaṁ? We have to make some endeavor. It's not going to happen automatically. First of all, we must stay in sadhu sangha. And we've read many articles about how if we don't have physical association with devotees, then we have to take shelter of the shastras. So we have to every day spend time with the shastras. That's also sadhu. We can purify our mind and fix our mind if we, in a very humble and serious way, in a very personal way, we open up the scriptures and we read them like that. So one must stay in sadhu sangha, and we have to discipline the mind. We have to make some endeavor. How do we discipline the mind? Through vairagya and abhyas. So vairagya, we have to have some detachment, and we must engage in, it must be a regular practice. This is how you do saṁharaṇaṁ. Okay, now purity, śaucaṁ. Śaucaṁ means that the practitioner, the sadhak, should maintain external purity by bathing and internal purity by subduing the 6 enemies like lust, etc., thereby purifying the heart. Okay, so what are the 6 enemies? Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. All these things. If you're lusty or if you are greedy and like all these different, the 6 enemies, if they're controlling you, then how's your mind going to be pure? So we must subdue all these 6 enemies. There's a song by Narottam Das Thakur, how we use all these 6 things in Krishna's service. That's how we're not trying to get rid of them, except for envy. The last one we do want to get rid of. But the others, we're not trying to get rid of them. We're just trying to, our anger, all these things, we're just trying to attach, like we want to transform it towards Krishna. But yeah, so internally your mind will be pure once we subdue these 6 enemies. Then, in this way, waves of disinterest or opposition to Krishna will not arise in the mind. And I'm just speaking to myself here. What's the opposite of subduing these enemies? How do I make these 6 enemies take control over me? Is when I'm not focused on transcendental things and my mind, like, for me, like I say it all the time, one of my biggest enemies is YouTube. I watch lots of stupid YouTube stuff, and then that's the 6 enemies like that. They like it when I watch YouTube. And then they have more control over me. But no, we have to control it by taking shelter of the devotees. What is it? That verse from Mana Shiksha? Iti pakabir vartmapakane kurutan putkaran avati. We have to call out to the protectors on the path towards Krishna, towards pakabir Krishna. So, yeah. And this way, waves of disinterest or opposition to Krishna will not arise. So that's śaucaṁ. Now the third one, maunam, silence. Maunam means avoiding speech unrelated to Krishna and engaging in kirtan of his glories. So what is silence? Silence means talking about Krishna. That's real silence, material silence, maunam. But we should avoid any speech that's unrelated to Krishna. During japa, one should not engage in any worldly conversation. Okay, so if while you're chanting, somebody comes up to you and wants to speak about something somebody did or any kind of mundane thing, just, if you're too shy to say, like, don't talk to me right now. No, you should just say, like, oh, let me just finish this round or something like that, maybe. Or at least just take your hand out of your bead bag. But better to say, no, let me finish this round and then we can talk. I don't do that. But yeah, all these things I'm not doing. I'm speaking to myself all the time. So then avyagratvam. Avyagratvam means undistractedness. So then Gurudev says that avyagratva means astir man ki chanchalata hi vyagrata hai. So vyagrata is the restlessness of an unsteady mind. Vyagrata is the restlessness of an unsteady mind, the chanchalata, of an astir man, of an unsteady mind. So avyagrata is the opposite of that. When we chant, our mind should not be restless, shouldn't be chanchal, and it shouldn't be astir. It should be steady and peaceful. And then Gurudev says, being avyagra means chanting patiently. Being avyagra means chanting patiently and steadily without agitation. Okay, and now anirvedo. Anirvedo, number 5, means non-discouragement, patience. Anirvedo means not becoming discouraged if there is a delay in attaining your desired goal. This japa is not doing its thing. I've been chanting for 20 years and still nothing's happened. I still feel like, so that's nirved. But we should be anirved, undiscouraged. We should have, And dharya dharan kar mantra. One should chant the mantra with patience and perseverance. Perseverance. These are kind of similar, it seems like, the avyagra and anirved. Avyagra, we should have we should chant with a steady mind and also patience. Not restless. Our mind should not be restless. It should be very steady and focused. And at the same time, we should not become discouraged because there's a delay in attaining our desired goal, that it seems like nothing's happening. No, we just have to just keep on going at it and have faith that if I really make some endeavor, and there's a lot going on that we are not aware of in our heart. We're not aware of everything that's happening when we're chanting. And so because we're not aware of it, we think, oh, nothing's happening, but there's so much happening if we're chanting seriously. So one should chant the mantra with patience and perseverance. This isn't in the right order. I guess the Hindi explains, or it's not in the order of the verse, but I guess the Hindi explained it in a different order. So then, lastly is mantrārtha-cintanam. Meditate on the meaning of the name. So while chanting the mantra, the sadhak should remember the Lord's pastimes of union, of milan, and separation, vipralamba, associated with the name. Milan and vipralamba, right? All the pairs of names that Hare Krishna, that's milan, right? Radha and Krishna are meeting together. And Hare Rama, also Radha and Krishna are meeting together. And then the Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and the Rama Rama, Hare Hare, those are vipralamba. So when there's separation. So the Maha Mantra is filled with Milan and Vipralamba, union and separation. So while we chant especially in the book, what is it? Harinam Maha Mantra. There's a little booklet that Gurudev published, and he gives instructions from Gopal Guru Goswami. Forgot who else. Maybe Jiva Goswami or Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, I think. Anyways, but they explain each pair of names in full detail, in full depth. And so when we chant, we should remember these explanations. We should try to think of the meaning of the mantra when we chant. And also, as an essential thing to know, I've gone through this a few times, but Sanskritically, like according to Sanskrit grammar, the Maha Mantra is all in every name is in the Sambodhan case. That means the vocative case. It means it's so you're not talking about Hara and Krishna and Rama like in the third person, just like but you're actually saying, "Oh Krishna, oh Srimati Radhika, oh Krishna." It's a vocative, it's a direct calling out, just according to grammar. If it wasn't, if you're just saying the name of Krishna, then it would be Krishna with a visarga at the end with an H with a dot under Krishna, like that. But because it's written like that, that's actually, it can only be understood. There's no other way to understand it. It can only be understood as "Oh Krishna," a direct address, vocative. So we should think that when we're chanting, we should remember the meaning of the mantra, that, oh, I'm not just saying names of Krishna, but I'm actually calling out to Krishna directly, saying, "Oh Krishna." And so if I'm calling out to him, I have to be thinking of him. Otherwise, that's offensive. If I'm just like calling out to see, like if I keep on saying, "Oh Sarveshwari, oh Sarveshwari, oh Sarveshwari," but I'm not even like, you're not even in my mind. I'm just saying, "Hey Sarveshwari, hey Sarveshwari," and I'm thinking of something completely else. Then yeah, that's not very nice. That's offensive. So yeah. So while chanting the mantra, following the fivefold practices. Oh, sorry. Now, Srila Gurudev. So those are the six things that in this verse went through it carefully. Now, Srila Gurudev in his commentary, he gives five more practices. He says, while chanting the mantra, the following fivefold practices should be observed. And this applies to chanting our Diksha mantras or the Maha Mantra. Okay, so first is know the meaning of the mantra and contemplate the form of the deity and your special relationship with them. Especially like when we're doing our anik, we should know the meaning of all the words in the mantra and contemplate the form of the deity. So we should be, chanting Guru mantra, Guru Gayatri. We should be thinking of Sri Guru's form. And not just that, but our special relationship with him, sambandha. What does it say here in the Hindi? It says, mantra devata ka swarup तथा उनके साथ संबंध विशेष प्रतिपादक अर्थों का चिंतन करना चाहिए. So, first it says artha jankar. So first understand know the meaning. And having understood the meaning of the mantra, then mantra devata ka swarup, we should think of the swarup, the form of the mantra devata, of the deity of that mantra. And not just that, but we should think about what's my relationship with the mantra devata. Unke sat sambandha vishesh. What is my special vishesh, my special relationship with the mantra devata? In this way, we can think about the meaning of the mantra. So it's very personal. Don't just think about Gurudev. What is my relationship with Gurudev? And then move on to Mahaprabhu. And don't just think of Mahaprabhu, but think of what is my relationship. And what is the meaning of all these words I'm saying? So that's number one. Now, number two is nyas. Let's look up the word nyas in the Hindi dictionary. Nyas. Here's a Hindi. Where is it? Hindi English. Nyas. Nyas means putting down, placing, depositing, entrusting. A trust, endowment. So I think it's like these two things of entrusting, having full faith and trusting, and placing down. Like, what does it say here? So establishing the deity in the heart, establishing the deity. Okay, so understands that the deity of the mantra is your protector, entrusting him, like having trust. Mantrārtha-cintanam, he mera rakshake. My only protector, it says, my only protector is this mantra devata. He is my rakshak. This is nyas. We establish him as, even though chanting once can bring perfection, repeating it 10, like when we're doing our Gayatri, we do it 10 times, or 108 times, chanting japa 108 times, for their pleasure is called nyas. Doing it for their pleasure. Okay, so understanding the deity of the mantra as our protector, he's my rakshak, and that we're doing it for their pleasure. This is called nyas. We're establishing him in our heart. He's my protector, and I'm doing it for their pleasure. Nyas. All right, so now the third one is prapatti. Prapatti means I take shelter at the lotus feet of the mantra devata. Mantra devata ke Śrī charana hi me ashray grahan karta hu. And then taking refuge. Sharanagati. Sharanagati is accepting I am a suffering soul, and I fully take refuge in the Lord. And then number 5 is self-offering. Anirvedo means everything that is mine belongs to him. Even I am not mine. I don't belong to myself. I am not mine. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur mentions that a couple times in his Sharanagati songs. Ami to amar, what is it? Ami to amar nahi. I think something like that. So even I am not mine. I am his, to be enjoyed by him as he pleases. That's Atmanivedan. And these Prapatti, Sharanagati, and Atmanivedan are very similar. They're all about surrender, but there's distinctions in them. I don't fully understand the distinctions, but Srila Gurudev, he explained something. Shashi Devi shared with me something that Gurudev spoke about these 5 limbs. But let's just very quickly recap. So first is, number 1 is knowing the meaning of the mantra and contemplating the form of the deity and my special relationship with him. That's number 1. Knowing the meaning of the mantra, the form of the deity of the mantra devata, and my relationship with the mantra devata. Then number 2 is nyas. Is there like one word though in the Hindi? I guess not. Pratipadak artha-cintanam. Maybe that's artha-cintanam. I think that's artha-cintanam. Yeah, that is artha-cintanam. So what does it mean to contemplate on the meaning? It means to have the image of the vigraha and my relationship with that's contemplating the meaning and knowing what all the words mean. Those 3 things means artha-cintanam. Then number 2 is nyas, establishing the deity in the heart, understanding that the deity is my rakshak, my protector, and doing it for their pleasure. So that's nyas. And then prapatti, I take shelter at the lotus feet of this mantra devata. I'm suffering in this world. Also, Sharanagati refers to the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. So it includes all those things, accepting the favorable, rejecting the unfavorable. The Lord is my only maintainer and protector, and humility, all those 6 things, Sharanga of Sharanagati. So that is Sharanagati. And then Atmanivedan means that it means you're offering. Nivedan means to offer one's very self, one's atma. And so means there's no more sense of I and mine. I don't own anything. I don't even own myself. I am fully his, and I'm to be enjoyed by him as he pleases. That's Atmanivedan. So by chanting the mantra with these 5 practices, panchanga, these 5, perfection in chanting is quickly attained. Mantra siddhi hoti hai by meditating on these three things. So what was it again? Let's just one very quickly. I'm not going to explain them all. I'm just going to say the Sanskrit. Artha-cintanam, nyas, prapatti, sharanagati, and atmanivedan. So now let's look at what Srila Gurudev spoke about these. It's very short, and then we'll end after that. Sorry, I see it's already 8 o'clock, but this will just take a couple minutes to read. Let me just, yeah, Shachi Devi shared this with me on WhatsApp. So thank you, Shachi Devi, for sharing this. Okay. And this is from a class that Gurudev gave on January 26th, 1998 in Bali. So only Shraddha is needed. Those who want to serve Krishna should be initiated into the Gopal mantra and Kam Gayatri, because the Kam Gayatri is the embodiment of Krishna himself, the highest Krishna. We must chant these mantras daily with great respect. Also, we should accept these mantras from a bona fide guru. A guru should also give the outline of all mantras. What is the outline? We should know that each mantra has one Aradhyadev, one worshipable deity. So who is the Aradhyadev? Who is the presiding deity of this mantra? We should always know this. If you don't know, the mantra will not be fruitful. Secondly, one should know the relationship between that worshipable deity and oneself. What do you say? Sambandha vishesh, a special relationship. What is that relation? If you have no relation, it's not fruitful. Thirdly, we should know the meaning of the words in the mantra. Mantra-artha. If you're not knowing the meaning of the words in that mantra, it will be fruitless. And then prapatti, sharanagati, atmanivedan. There's some difference between prapatti and sharanagati. Prapatti means I am taking shelter of the deity of this mantra forever. And sharanagati is of 6 kinds. What is favorable for bhakti, we adopt those things. Then we should give up those things that are not helpful for bhakti. Krishna is my supporter and nourisher. I should take his shelter. I am his. I will serve him with all my opulence, with all my wealth, my intelligence and mind. Whatever I have, I will offer to him. So that's sharanagati, sharanga sharanagati, right? And then atmanivedan, that's the last one. So prapatti, sharanagati, and now atmanivedan. Now we cannot do atmanivedan. You can never do this because you don't know your atma. How will you surrender your atma to him? You don't even know who you are. You may say that you have done atmanivedan, but you cannot do it because you do not know your atma. You have no realization of your atma, your true self. So you cannot do this. So knowing these 5 things from a bona fide guru, you can adopt these 5 kinds of processes. Then your chanting and remembering of that mantra will give the fruits that you want. Krishna prem. Otherwise not. If the guru himself does not know what these 5 things are, then how can he give all these things to his disciples? He can never give these things. Srila Jiva Goswami has especially written in his Sandarbhas that we should chant our mantras like this. A guru should help the devotees with these things. Otherwise, all the mantras are fruitless. And then a devotee asks, so without these 5 things, if one is chanting the mantra, what is the result? And then Srila Gurudev says that the result is that after lakhs and lakhs of births, or after so many years, you can have sadhu sangha. So basically, we're just getting sukriti then. And after building up a lot of sukriti, then you get sadhu sangha, right? So, I mean, if we chant the mantras without these 5 things, it's not like there's a bad result. We'll just get sukriti, and eventually we'll be able to be in sadhu sangha. But it's like indirectly leading to that, just sukriti, basically. So, and then in that association, you'll get some purification. And then you'll have a real guru. Then you'll be able to chant like this. And then a devotee asks, what is the qualification to enter into these 5 limbs? And Srila Gurudev says, Shraddha, only Shraddha. For everything, only Shraddha is needed. Shraddha in Nam, Shraddha in meditation, Shraddha in Sadhu Sangha. Only Shraddha is needed for all of these things. Right? So that is our program for today. So yeah, if anybody wants to try to memorize this verse, it's not too difficult. Well, there's two things. Okay, so the verse, saṁharaṇaṁ śaucaṁ. I tried memorizing it last night. Let's see if I could do it. Saṁharaṇaṁ śaucaṁ. I always, whenever I put myself on the spot, though, I get nervous. Maunam mantrārtha-cintanam, avyagratvam anirvedo, japa-sampatti-hetavaḥ. Yeah, it's pretty easy. And then what were the 5 extra things that Gurudev spoke about? First was artha-cintan, nyas, prapatti, sharanagati, and atmanivedan. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do Mahamantra and we'll end. I'll just sing a couple Mahamantras and end for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. One thing I struggle with a lot is mantrārtha-cintanam. Just thinking about what I'm saying, thinking about the words of what I'm saying. I think I've told you before how I used to in 2005 I stayed in Govardhan for 6 months and we do all the ashtakams before Mangalarti. So I'd be really tired then. And I was the one leading it on the mic. And because I did it every single day, it just became such a habit and I had them memorized. And so I could sleep while singing out loud on a mic and playing mridanga all at the same time. And sometimes I'd fall asleep playing mridanga on the mic with a bunch of devotees, and I would wake just because I got in such big time autopilot mode, and then I would wake up and I'd be like, "What song are we singing?" I didn't even know the ashtakam that we were on. That's how deeply asleep I'd be. But that's like as far from mantrārtha-cintanam as you can possibly get, thinking about the meaning of the mantra. And actually, that's something I really struggle with. Is just I immediately whenever I chant mantras, I go into autopilot mode like that, and I'll think about every single thing, and it just so that's something. Even when I do Jaidvani, lots of times I don't. It's something I really need to focus on. When I say the Shikṣāṣṭaka, every time we ever say any kind of mantra, really just focus on what I'm saying. What is the meaning of all the words that I'm saying? And then there'll be some result. Otherwise, there's no result. You're actually not really doing anything. You're just, yeah, you have to think about the mantra, think about the words. That's what's really helpful about speaking, like just doing these programs with you, is that I have to try to think about what I'm saying. Like when I try to explain a verse or something, even if I don't know it, but I'm like forced to try to think about the words, and that's been getting me out of this autopilot mode. The more I do that, the less I'm in autopilot mode. So I'm really grateful for everybody being here, giving me this opportunity to, yeah. All right. Hare Krishna Gana Shapal. Okay. I didn't do Jadwani. Sorry. Jai Shri Sachi-Nandan Gaur Hari ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shri Param Gurudev ki Jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai. Swapar Shaji Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Gana ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Bint Devi ki Jai. अभिन्न वृंदावन श्री नवदीप धाम की जय। जय श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर भजन-rahasya की जय। जय श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टक की जय। श्री सच्चिदानंद गौर हरि की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Shinitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Om. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Think about the meaning of the words mantrārtha-cintanam. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha. Oh Vrinda Devi. Oh, Vrindai Tulsi, say, Vrindai Tulsi Devi, oh Tulsi Devi, oh Vrinda Devi, Priyaya Keshavasacha, oh you who are so dear to Keshav, Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi, oh you give, you are the bestower of Krishna Bhakti, oh Devi, oh Satyavati, Namo Namaha, I offer my obeisances to you again and again, Vancha Kalpataru Vyashta, Vancha Kalpataru, oh Vaishnavas, you are a Vancha Kalpataru, you are a tree that fulfills all, a wish-fulfilling tree. Kripa Sindhu, you are an ocean of mercy, of Kripa. And Patitanam Pavanebhyo, and oh, you are the deliverer of the fallen, of the Patit. I am Patit, and you are the deliverer of the Patit. You are my savior. Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. Oh Vaishnavas, to all the Vaishnavas, I offer my obeisances again and again. Namo Namaha, Namo Namaha. When we say any mantra, whenever we say that, now I have to think of the meaning of all the words. I don't do that, and so that's why I'm trying to. But yeah, that's why this verse for me today is so relevant, like so relevant, and that's why I want to practice saying it every day, just so that I can remember to do all these 6 things and those 5 things. It's a good thing to remember before you do your anik, before you chant. And if you do that, then japa-sampatti-hetavaḥ, then you'll have success in your chanting of japa or your mantras or whatever. All right. Dandavat pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Sarveshwari Mataji. I don't know who's there watching on your iPhone, but pranams to you, Yashoda Mataji, and on YouTube and Facebook, Ganga Mataji, Shasharamaji, Vidyalala Sadidi, Ganesham Prabhu, and all the other devotees watching. I don't see your name because I only see the names of people who wrote comments. But yeah, pranams. Also pranams to all devotees watching in the future. And thank you, Shachi Devi, for sharing that beautiful excerpt from Gurudev's Hari Katha. And pranams to Jaidev Prabhu, Revati Didi, and everybody else watching. Thank you so much for joining. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end our program for today? Okay, so tomorrow we will hear Srila Gopal Guru Goswami's very deep, esoteric explanation on the meaning of these pairs of names. Now that we're talking about this mantrārtha-cintanam, this thinking of the meaning of the names, maybe we could read, maybe tomorrow that's what we'll do. We'll read Gopal Guru Goswami's explanation of the pairs of names, and then we could also look at the Harinam Mahamantra book and see more explanations from other acharyas, so that we have some idea of what to think about when we chant our japa. Think about all the pairs of names. What do the pairs of names actually mean? Yeah. All right. Edible. Thank you so much for joining. See you tomorrow.